Just imagine you can easily monitor your total power consumption of your home or offices in your smartphone. That is total unit of electricity that you have used along with the total estimated bill that you have to pay. You can easily monitor in your smartphone from any corner of this world. So in this video we are going to make a IoT based smart energy meter in which we can real time monitor our current, voltage, power consumption, energy uses along with the power factor and estimated bill. And for making of this project I have used ESP32 and PZEM-004T sensor. And in the software side I have used Google Firebase. Along with all this I have also added some extra features that made this project advanced. Let me explain this feature one by one. The first feature is overload alert. Whenever our system detects an overload, then we will get an alert notification on our web dashboard. The second feature is real-time graph. We will get a graph in our web dashboard in which we can easily monitor real-time power usage of our appliances. The third feature is CSV file. We can easily export the power uses of our appliances from the web dashboard in a CSV file. The fourth feature is estimated bill. That is the total amount of money we have to pay for the electricity we have consumed so far. For this, first we need to set the per unit cost in our web dashboard. Then we can easily monitor total amount of electricity we have used and the estimated bill. And the fifth feature is online offline status. We can easily monitor if our system is online or offline in our web dashboard. So it is very convenient for us. And the seventh feature is Wi-Fi indication. Here we have used our onboard LED that is connected on the GPIO2 as a Wi-Fi indicator. If our ESP32 is not connected with the Wi-Fi, then it will blink very fast. And if it is connected to the Wi-Fi, it will blink very slow. So we can easily check if our ESP32 is connected to the Wi-Fi or not. And the last feature is data logging. That is the total amount of electricity we have used, total amount of bill, all are logged in the Firebase. So if there is any power cut or ESP32 got reset, then in that case our ESP32 will easily retrieve all the data from the Firebase Realtime Database. During the video, I will explain everything in detail, how to configure Google Firebase, and also I will explain Arduino code in detail. So watch this video till end. Now let's get into this video. Before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce Altium. Altium is a leading provider of innovative PCB design software and tools that are transforming the electronic industry worldwide. It is widely used by professionals and companies for high quality PCB design. Altium offers some amazing features like advanced interactive routing with auto completion, any angle routing, bus routing, phase and length tuning, and follow me routing, and many more. These powerful tools make Altium an ideal choice for PCB designers and electronic companies. And if you are a student from India and want to become job ready in electronic design, you should definitely check out Altium Student Lab. With Altium Student Lab, you get free access to Altium Designer and Altium 365, which allows you to collaborate with your classmates and teammates just like professionals. And you can also earn industry recognized certificate accepted by top electronics companies in India. It's a great way to boost both your skills and your resume. All you need to do is sign up using your university email ID and you can get started completely free. Learn real world PCB design skills that actually lead to real jobs. Another big advantage of Altium Student Lab is that you can get free access to PCB design courses, university level curriculum, and certified courses from Altium Education. On the top of that, you also get free access to the Power Analyzer by Keysight, which is an excellent tool to understand and analyze power integrity in your designs. This is truly an amazing opportunity to gain industry recognized and professional level PCB design skills. Thanks to Altium for sponsoring this video. For more details, check out the link in the description below. First you need to open this website, that is console.firebase.google.com. You will get this link in the description, so directly click on it and open it. And after that, click on this create a new Firebase project. Here you have to give a name of your project. You can give any name. I am giving it. And after that, click on this continue button. Again click on this continue button. Here disable this Google Analytics for this project, and then click on this create project button. Here our Firebase project is successfully created, so click on this continue button. And after that, click on this database and storage. Inside this, click on this real-time database. After this, click on this create database to create a new database. Here we have to select the real-time database location. We have here United States, Belgium, and Singapore. You can select anyone you want. I am selecting Singapore. And after that, click on this next button. Here we have to select either we are starting in logged mode or test mode. So I am going with this test mode. Then click on this enable button. Here we have successfully created a real-time database in our Firebase. So we have successfully created. After that, now click here on this setting icon. Then click on this general button scroll down. Here we have to select the platform in which we are going to control our this smart energy meter system. So either you are using iOS, Android or web. So I am using here web, so I am selecting this web. Here we have to give the name of our web app, so I am giving the same name as the project. You can give any name you want. Then click on this register app button. So here we have successfully created the web app for our project and we got the API key and database URL. We only require these two things, that is API key and database URL. After that, click on this continue to console. Open the real-time database. Inside the real-time database, we need to give the some variables and data, but we are not going to do here. We will write from the code. So everything we will do from the code. So let's go to the code. So this is our Arduino code for this smart energy meter system. Let me explain this code for you in detail. First of all, here we have added some necessary libraries. The first one is Wi-Fi.h, which is used for enabling the Wi-Fi capabilities of ESP32. And this second one, that is Firebase ESP32.h, which is used for communication between ESP32 and Firebase. And this library, that is PZEM-004T, this library is used for reading the parameters like current, voltage, power from the PZEM sensor. And these two variables, that is Wi-Fi SSID and password. In the Wi-Fi SSID variable, we have to give the name of our router or hotspot SSID name. And in the password, we have to give the password of our router or hotspot. These two variables, the first one is database URL, in which we have to give the URL of our database, real-time database. So open your Firebase account, copy database URL from here, and inside this database secret, you have to give the API key of your Firebase real-time database. So open your Firebase account again. Now further in the code, here we have defined the pins for the PZEM sensor. GPR16 act as a RX and GPR17 is act as a TX. And we have connected our LED pin on the GPIO2, which is an onboard LED. And here we are using serial 2 of our ESP32 as a UART communication. And here we have created a PZEM object. By using, we can easily read voltage, current, power, frequency further in the code. Here we have created some Firebase object. The first one is Firebase data. By using this object, we can easily read and write data inside our real-time database. And this second one is config. By using this, we can configure our Firebase, and this is for authentication. And these two variables are timing variables. The first one is last read and the second one is overload limit. Here we are giving 3000. That means overload limit is, I am giving here 3000 watt. If you want, you can change this limit. You can give 2000 watt, 4000 watt or 5000 watt. You can give any value according to your need. So I am giving here 3000 watt. So if our power goes above 3000, then this will goes true, and if it is below 3000, this value will go false. So we will get the overload alert in our web dashboard. And these two variables, which is the LED variables, last blink and LED state, these variables are used further in the code. Now let's move to the setup part of the code. First, here we start a serial communication with our serial monitor with the baud rate of 115200. Here we have defined the pin mode for our LED, which is the output. And here we started the Wi-Fi connection by giving Wi-Fi SSID and Wi-Fi password. In the serial monitor, we are printing connecting to Wi-Fi. And this is a loop blocking function. Here we are checking if our ESP32 is connected to the Wi-Fi or not. If it is not connected to the Wi-Fi, this function will block the code here. We are not going further. And our LED will start blinking very fast to show that our ESP32 is not connected to the Wi-Fi. And if our ESP32 got connected to the Wi-Fi, we will just simply print connected on our serial monitor. Now further in the code, here we configure our Firebase by giving database URL, database secret, that is the API key, and this is server response time, which is 10 into 1000, that is 10,000. Here if our server is not responding within 10 seconds, then we will give the server response time out after 10 seconds. And here we are starting the communication from Firebase by passing this authentication and configuration parameters. And this function, that is reconnect Wi-Fi. This function is used to reconnect from the Wi-Fi. Now move to the loop section. Here first of all, we are giving this variable, that is blink interval variable, 1000 millisecond, that is 1 second. And if ESP32 is connected to the Wi-Fi, then we are giving this blink interval value to 100 millisecond. That means if our ESP32 is connected to the Wi-Fi, then our LED, that is onboard LED, will blink very slow, and if it is not connected to the Wi-Fi, then it will blink very fast. And by using this function, we are doing the blinking pattern of LED by using this function. Here we are using millis function to avoid any stack of the code. Here we are not using delay function, we are using millis function, so this function will not block the further execution of the code. Now come to the task 2. Here we are checking our sensor reading every after 3 seconds. This is the 3000 millisecond, that is 3 seconds. If you want, you can change this value. If you want 5 seconds, 2 seconds or 1 second, so you can change the frequency by changing this number. So I am reading every after 3 seconds. Now further in the code, here we are reading the voltage in volt, reading current in ampere, and reading the power in watt, energy in kilowatt hour, frequency in hertz. Along with this, we are also reading the power factor. And here we are checking if our sensor is responding or not by checking the voltage value. If we are not getting the voltage value, then we are simply printing on serial monitor that error reading PZEM. Along with this, we are also sending a string, that is sensor error, in our real-time database to indicate that our PZEM sensor is not working. Here I am only checking voltage. You can add current, power or energy. Here I am only checking voltage. If voltage is not reading, that means our PZEM sensor is not working. And if we are getting the voltage value, then we are simply printing on the serial monitor. Along with this, sending all the values in our Firebase Realtime Database. Here we are sending by making this path, that is energy, voltage, energy current, energy power, energy frequency, and energy power factor. And all these units are here. I am giving volt, ampere, watt, kilowatt and hertz. And after that, we are also sending here time stamps. By using this function, we can send the time stamps to our real-time database to know the when the ESP32 send our last data. So we can easily check the last scene of our ESP32. And here we are checking if there is any overload or not. So if value of power is greater than the overload limit, then in that case we are making this variable, that is overload, to true in our Firebase real-time database to indicate that there is a overload. And if it is less than the overload limit, then we are simply giving it false. That means there is no overload condition to indicate in our dashboard. If you want, you can change this overload limit value according to your need. So that's all the explanation of this code. If you have any question or queries regarding this code, you can comment in the comment section below. Now upload this code in your ESP32 by selecting the right board and right communication port. Once the code is successfully uploaded, now open your browser and open this website, that is technolobelectronics.com/power monitoring, and click here on this setting icon. First here we have to give the electricity rate, that is per unit cost of our electricity. So in my area it is 8 rupees per unit, so I am giving it 8. And here we need to give the Firebase API key and database URL. So let's copy this thing from the code itself and paste it here. So copy first database URL and paste it here. Do same for API key. Copy from here and paste it here. Then click on save configuration. As you can see, it shows system online. Now our system is online and we can easily monitor active power, voltage, current, and here we can monitor live usage history in this real-time graph. Here we can see total energy usage, estimated bill and power factor. And from here we can easily export the CSV file of our report, that is total power consumptions. So first let me make the connections and connect a load, then I will see this project in action. Now make the connections of ESP32 PZEM sensor along with the load as per this connection diagram, and be careful while making the connection because this connection requires some AC connections as well. So be careful while making the connections. Here I have completed all the connections. I have connected this PZEM sensor to this ESP32 via this voltage divider circuit. We have used this voltage divider circuit because this PZEM sensor works on 5 volt logic level and this ESP32 works 3.3 volt logic level. And for demonstration purpose, here I have used this LED bulb as a load. You can use any device as a load. So I am using here this 18 watt LED bulb as a load. So let me first turn on the power supply and we will see in our web dashboard things like voltage, active power and all. Right now you can see system offline because I have not connected power yet. So let me first connect the power supply. Here this shows system online, that means our system is working fine, and we have connected this bulb as a load and this is turned on. So we have also connected a load. Now we can easily see active power, that is 16.2 watts, voltage 224 volt, and current is 0.07 ampere, and also you can see live users history in our web dashboard. this is a live users history. We can see along with the time, that is every second. As you can see, the right now time is 12:22 p.m. and we can also see in our graph, this is live users history of power uses. And in the bottom we can also monitor total energy used, estimated bill and power factor. We can monitor these things from our web browser by opening this link in our phone or in our laptop from any corner of this world. As you can see, I have also opened this web dashboard in my laptop, and we can easily monitor active power, voltage, current, and we can also see live users history along with this total energy used and estimated bill and power factor. And one more thing, if we want to export all the details, that is all the data like this active power and all, we can just click here on this export button to export all the report in CSV file. Just click on it and you will get CSV file of this all the report. And apart from this, if you want to change the electricity rate, that is per unit cost of electricity, API key and database URL, you can change this from here. After that, just click on save configuration. Right now I am clicking on this cancel button. So this web dashboard is very useful for us. We can easily monitor all this data from any corner of this world. So yeah, that's all in this video. I hope you like this video and you learn something new. If you have any question and queries regarding this video, or you have any problem, then you can comment in the comment section below. You can also reach me out via WhatsApp. You will get my WhatsApp number and email ID in your screen, so you can contact me via WhatsApp as well. So that's all. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will meet in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Have a nice day.